First round, let's see how she does. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of my favorite handguns. The first being the Tanfoglio Witness, second being the Girsan Hunter. And we're going to do this in a fun way, I think, because it's going to be the first time that we're trying out some 10mm ammunition from our friends at Fort Scott. So a couple of questions that we've got to try to answer in this video. First, does this 10mm ammunition from Fort Scott Munitions cycle? Does it function properly in both of these handguns? And then the second question, of course, is how accurate is this ammunition going to be? Well, we're going to put that to the test, so let's go. What's up, crew? It's Chris with CloverTac. Welcome back to the channel. And I think we should probably start by talking a little bit about the similarities and differences between these two handguns. Not a whole lot in the way of similarities, except for they're both 10mm. And as far as weight goes, it's negligible. Even though the Hunter has a longer barrel than the Witness, they're still going to fall into that same weight category. I mean, just a couple ounces difference between the two, and that's because both of these are all metal handguns, no plastic here. Now let's talk differences, and there are quite a few. The Witness is a single action, double action, where the Hunter is traditional 1911, which is single action only. Now, single action handguns do tend to have better triggers. That in combination with a longer barrel on the Girsan Hunter, well, that may give it a slight advantage when we get to testing accuracy. Now, it's worth pointing out that the Girsan Hunter does have a pair of grips from our friends over at Lock Grips, but those, and as far as the slight weight advantage, I don't think that's going to play a role here at all. If we were talking about quick follow-up shots, getting back on target, yes, those things might make a difference, but just with accuracy and function testing today, I don't think it's going to matter. Let's talk a little bit about the ammunition here from our friends at Fort Scott Munitions. And they produce ammunition, what they call TUI, which is tumble upon impact. Now, the weight of the projectile ammunition, typically the heavier the weight, the more pressure that ammunition has, and the better that it cycles the action on the firearm. What I was concerned with when I got this in is the projectile in the Fort Scott TUI 10mm. It says on the box it's only 125 grains. Typically for 10mm, you're going to see 180 grain plus in a lot of the stuff that's out there. So does that lower grain weight of the projectile have any bearing on how it's going to function on these handguns? Well, we've got to test that out, and let's do that right now. Before we get started with the live fire, as always, safety first. Got my eyes on, putting my ears in now. Let's do this. So 10 yards down range, got a couple of targets from our friends at Outdoor Products Plus. Gonna put 5 rounds on the left target using the Witness. Gonna put 5 rounds on that right target using the Hunter here, and we'll assess the results, of course. Got 5 rounds. Let's start out with the Witness here. All right, here we go. Just two-handed grip, non-supported. We're at 10 yards. It shouldn't be terribly difficult. Here we go. Not bad as far as point of aim versus point of impact. As far as recoil, it's on par with, I would say, moderately powered 10mm. It certainly cycled that first round. Second round, not too terribly bad either from what I can see. Third round there too. Not the best group, but certainly not horrible. Not doing too terribly bad. I like it. I like it. So last round. And that's not bad from what I'm seeing there. About what I would expect from this particular handgun. I like this handgun. Depending on ammunition, not the most accurate. The trigger, as I pointed out earlier, this thing being a single action, double action, that trigger leaving a little something to be desired. Now let's put the rubber to the road with the Girsan Hunter here, 10 millimeter, 1911. See what we can do on that right target. 5 rounds. First round, let's see how she does. Not bad, it cycled, everything worked. As far as recoil, again, negligible weight difference, these both being all metal frame. Really didn't notice anything crazy there on the weight difference. A 6-inch barrel though, and possibly a trigger playing a role on the accuracy. Our accuracy looks better here. Wow. 4th round coming up, doing well with this 1911. Man, now we're only at 10 yards, I get it, but we're punching big holes with 10 millimeters, so I can definitely see them. And they are right there with this Girsan Hunter. 5th and final round, everything cycled, everything locked back. So, I guess now we can sort of assess the situation. We take a look at both of these targets side by side, the Witness on the left, of course, the Hunter on the right. Neither one of the groups are horrible, even though that Witness did not have quite as good of a group as the Hunter. I sort of expected that with the barrel length and the 1911 single action trigger pull, just a little bit better in my opinion. And so that probably led to a little tighter group for the 10 millimeter, the Girsan Hunter. But if we're talking about reliability, if we're talking about function, if we're talking about cycling, this 10 millimeter ammunition, despite the smaller, the lighter grain weight of only 125 grains, it surprised me. I mean, the recoil, you know, the power factor there was, you know, not super hot, but it was definitely, I'll say, on the higher end of average. And it cycled both of these all metal handguns just fine. So, yeah, surprised me just a little bit. I've shot other stuff from Fort Scott Munitions before, and they do produce some really good ammo. So I'm surprised that I'm surprised, if that makes any sense. Hey, if you're looking for more content on, let's say, this Girsan Hunter, well, I got you a video right here. Go check that one out. As for this video, we're done. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And until next time, don't forget to chain fire freedom.